What's up, guys? This is Tyler from Reversion Raceworks, working with Rob Ida from Ida Automotive. We are bringing you along in the process of building this Mercedes Pullman 600 limousine. We want to go over why are we putting coach doors and modifying the doors, why are we putting an LS in this car. We're going to go over what does the customer want, how are we designing this, going from concept to reality, going over the 3D scanning, CAD, manufacturing, fabrication, just show you the whole process. This is our first build series, our first real YouTube video. We're excited to get started and show you guys a more in-depth view of these projects, and I can't wait to see what comes from it. First things first, we decided to 3D scan the untouched interior. So of course, after gutting it, we wanted to just get some reference geometry to all the factory inside the car, and then we would have some good reference points on how we can modify this, what we could do, what we should do. Just give us a good inspiration of where we could go with this project. So after that scan, we came up with 3 different concepts that the customer could choose from. The first one being this C-shaped bench seat that just wraps around the inside of the vehicle. This of course makes the driver's seats unusable, but that would be something the customer would have to decide on. The next concept we had was this L-shaped bench seat. We were really just trying to maximize internal space. The original seating was more business oriented, where everyone faced forward. This customer really wants to enjoy the car with his wife and friends when they travel or go out on the town. But this is why we have multiple concepts, to try and provide the best social experience. The last concept is a more traditional 2-bench seat where they're both facing each other. And ultimately this is what the customer decided on, because we could make all the doors usable and everyone would be facing each other. And the blue that's been modeled in on this was a table that we're talking about thrown in there as well. Now that the customer chose, Rob wasn't afraid to jump in there and start cutting away, because with that bench seat selected, we decided to also convert the car to coach doors. And you can see how Rob was able to get that all tacked in, and the door worked perfectly. Next, it was my job to get some scanning done, and you can see a little sneak peek of the LS we dropped into this thing. So with the brackets just tack welded in, it was apparent that the rigidity was a little bit of an issue. So we wanted to scan that and make some bracing for this. So next, with some help from Aesub 3D scanning spray, we were able to get this a nice uniform color where the scanner would be happy and we'd get a nice clean scan out of this. Then it was time for Peel 3 again, where we were able to quickly get some very accurate information that we were able to import into SolidWorks and create some CAD files. With the 3D scanning completed, we still had a little more work to do in the Peel software. We want to clean up whatever's unnecessary, such as the stand the door was sitting on, and maybe some noise that the scanner picked up. And just the better you clean it up here, the easier it's going to be to work with in the future. After the cleanup is completed, we wanted to then align the scan onto a coordinate system. If you've ever done any 3D scanning before, you'd know that the scan just imports kind of in outer space, but fortunately Peel makes it nice and easy to pick up some base planes where you can get a nice XYZ coordinate system to work off of. With the cleanup and alignment complete, we were able to import the scan into SolidWorks, where we could design up the bracket that's going to reinforce the new hinges, and some buckets to fill in underneath the hinge to close the door up, and another piece of sheet metal to weld in and get rid of the factory latch, since that will no longer be in that location. You can also see where that flat panel was actually slightly angled, and without scanning it would be pretty hard to recreate that. With the CAD files completed, we were able to order some 1/8" sheet metal parts from Send Cut Send, and this was right out of the box fitment, and they fit damn near perfect. Thanks to Senkansen's high tolerances and peel able to capture some very accurate geometry, this made this pretty straightforward to do some CAD modeling. Now Rob has it easy where he has some tight fitment to get welding on. Now Rob was able to get some TIG time in, and after a little bit of prep work on the door, he had some nice clean surfaces to weld on. Of course, after welding, we wanted to smooth them out, and Rob did a great job with this. Here you can see what the weld looked like on the finished door and what Rob was able to smooth it out to. And now that this door is complete, we ordered a mirrored set for the other door, and that's going to give us a nice template to work off of and cut the other side. That wraps up how Rob and I managed to knock out this project. Stay tuned for the next part of the build series coming soon. Here's a special thanks to all the companies that helped make this possible.